Hey y'all, welcome back to Alwayz Eating, and if you're new here, thanks for tuning in. I did make this sweet potato cheesecake pecan pie for my birthday this year. It was so delicious, my first time making a cheesecake, and it wasn't that hard at all. So if you want to know how I did it, let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start with making our pie crust. I'm using a half a stick of melted butter, and I'm using about a teaspoon of cinnamon along with some graham cracker crumbs. Now for the recipe, as always, you can find the recipe and the instructions in the description box. So what you see me doing here is just mixing and combining everything together. Once you do that, you'll take a springform pan. This is a pan usually used for cheesecakes because it's so much easier. You can actually remove the cheesecake without making a major mess. So I do recommend using a springform pan. Go ahead and butter that pan really good, and then we're going to go ahead and add the pie crust. What you're going to do is you're going to add the pie crust. Make sure you spread it evenly, and then you're going to press it down using a measuring cup. Make sure you let some of the pie crust come up on the sides for about 1 inch up, so that way it'll hold that pecan pie filling that we're about to make. So here I'm combining brown sugar, some cornstarch, and a pinch of salt. Mix this together until it's well incorporated, and what we're going to do is we're going to get a saucepan, turn it on a medium to medium low heat, and we'll go ahead and add this mixture. Once you add your mixture, you're going to want to make sure that you start stirring it just so nothing burns. Add in your dark corn syrup, your heavy cream, and mix that in well. Now, what I like to do is before my mixture starts to get too warm, I go ahead and add in my egg yolks, because you don't want your eggs to scramble. If this mixture is too hot, it will scramble your eggs, and that will make a complete mess with your bottom layer. So I'm adding in the egg yolks one by one, and I'm making sure I'm constantly stirring this mixture to make sure that, everything gets well incorporated and it doesn't scramble any of the eggs. Once you've mixed everything together, you're going to let this start simmering, and it should look like this. Make sure you do stir occasionally just so you don't get any so the mixture doesn't burn on the bottom. Remove it from the heat after about 5 minutes, and your mixture should look a little like this. What I'm doing now is I'm adding in some cold butter. You're going to mix in this cold butter until all of it is melted. Now, once all of it is melted, go ahead and add in your chopped pecans or pecans, whatever you want to call it. Add in a pinch of vanilla extract and fold this mixture together. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but while you're making this mixture, you definitely want to make sure you put your crust in the freezer. Once you're done making the mixture, go ahead and grab your crust from out of the freezer. Add the pecan pie filling. Spread it evenly. Go ahead and top this or cover this with some foil, and we're going to bake it on 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. Once it's done baking, you want to make sure you put it on a cooling rack. We're going to let this cool to room temperature, and then we're going to throw it in the fridge for another 30 to 45 minutes. Once you're done refrigerating your pecan pie mixture, we're going to go ahead and start on the cheesecake. So I'm using 3 packs of cream cheese. I'm going to blend this together, and then I'll go ahead and add in my sugar. Once you add in your sugar, you want to make sure that you blend this mixture until it's nice, light, and fluffy. Once you're done blending, it should take maybe about 1 or 2 minutes. Your mixture should look like this. Then you can go ahead and add in your heavy cream, your sour cream, and also your sweet potato puree. I used about 1 medium-sized sweet potato, and that was enough to make this recipe. Once you've added all your ingredients, go ahead and mix everything together. Once you've mixed everything together, now you can add your spices. Add cinnamon and nutmeg, or you can add some pumpkin pie spice. It's up to you. I did use my spatula to scrape down the sides and the bottom just to make sure I do have everything mixed well. I do recommend tasting your filling at this point before you add the flour and eggs, just because you don't want to make yourself sick by tasting anything with raw eggs in it. Once you have the taste to your liking, go ahead and add your flour and your eggs, mix it very well, and then we'll go ahead and take that pecan pie filling and we'll add the cheesecake to the top. Once you add the cheesecake filling on top, you're going to spread it evenly. We're going to we're going to wrap the bottom of this springform pan in some foil just to prevent the butter from seeping out the bottom and burning the bottom of your oven. Also, you'll want to use another separate pan with some water. Put that at the bottom under your cheesecake, and we're going to bake it. Once you're done baking your cheesecake, remove it. What you're going to do is turn off your oven, open it a little bit, and let it rest in there for an hour. Remove it and let it sit until room temperature on a cooling rack, and then we'll go ahead and cover it and refrigerate it overnight. Once your cheesecake has been completely cool, we'll go ahead and start on the topping. This pecan praline topping, once it cools down, it does get very hard to spread, so I do recommend not starting this step until your cheesecake is completely cooled and ready. So I added some brown sugar and some regular sugar and some cane sugar. I let that melt, and then I added in some butter. Your butter can be room temperature, it does not have to be cold, and you're going to mix this together. Now it's going to start to separate, so I know you may be a little concerned, because I was, but everything will turn out fine. Once everything's melted, go ahead and add in your heavy cream and bring this to a low simmer. Once it's simmered, remove it from the stove and add in your chopped pecans. Mix everything together, and then we're going to let this mixture cool for a few minutes. It should get a little thicker and stickier. Once it's this consistency, we can go ahead and top the cheesecake. So as you can see, I am topping the cheesecake with this delicious pecan praline mix. Spread it evenly, and then you can bet you're going to throw this back in the refrigerator for another 30 minutes to an hour to make sure that mixture is cool. But once you do that, your cheesecake is ready to eat. You can remove it from the fridge. What I did was I took a spatula and I went along the sides just to make sure nothing was sticking. You're going to open that spring form, and then we're going to slowly but surely remove your cheesecake from the pan. And once you're done, it should look just like this. I was feeling a little extra, giving Cheesecake Factory vibes, so I did decide to add some homemade whipped cream on top, just to add an extra touch and to make it look cute. And guys, this was so good. I was so happy and pleased with this cheesecake, being that it's the first time I ever made a homemade cheesecake. And this is probably one of the best birthday cakes I've ever had. I'm not just saying that because I made it. It was really good. But you have to try this recipe. It'll be great for Thanksgiving. Comment below and let me know what you think. Or just give me some other ideas of what you would have done to make it your own. But anyways, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Love y'all. Bye.